Hey, this is Kyle.
It's Ben here.
It's really cool that we get an opportunity to continue the conversation around these 5 social enterprises that we've been working with during this cohort.
And next we have for you a panel of several alumni that have come through the program at different stages in their development of a social enterprise. Enjoy.
It's so great to see the three of you. I'm so proud of the work that you're doing. We at Rally are also proud of the work that the three of you are doing. And I know that you have busy schedules all right now, so I appreciate you taking a little bit of time so we can share some of your learning and work with the people. I want to cut to the chase. Jennifer, why don't we start with you? It was fun to work with you at One Orlando Alliance. Can you describe to people a little bit about what One Orlando Alliance does?
Sure. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, One Orlando Alliance is a coalition of organizations that came together after the Pulse tragedy in 2016. So it's currently 42 organizations that serve the LGBTQ plus community, all working together on community-centric issues.
42 organizations. That's
yeah.
A lot. I always forget that number. And then
growing. It keeps growing.
So you're a nonprofit, and when you came into Rally, you were at the early stage. Can you say a little bit about maybe what one or two things were really helpful for you as you developed One Orlando Alliance Social Enterprise Program?
Yeah, so when I came to the Rally program, I had this big idea of creating something that would help teach businesses, government, partners, corporate partners, how to be more inclusive, right? And we all know that that's really important, and it also helps businesses thrive and organizations thrive. So we had this really high concept of wanting to do that, but really being part of the Rally program helped kind of zone in and take this really high concept and get it to something that was actually a program that then we could roll out. So it was an incredible experience for me to take these ideas that I had rolling around in my head for 2 years basically, and in a very short amount of time really distill it down into something that we could create a social revenue model around.
It was really cool to work with you too, because obviously you have built business before, but to take a complex idea with 42 organizations and mold that down into a social enterprise that serves a customer was really fun. And I'm impressed and excited to see what comes next for One Orlando Alliance.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the really tough and challenging part about what we did was not just create a social enterprise, but create a shared revenue platform where all of our members could benefit from this. And that was the complicated part about this, because it wasn't just one organization that's benefiting, it was multiple. And so being able to really look at different ways to do that through Rally was extremely helpful and really allowed me to get buy-in from all of our partners.
Cool. Hey, Julia, can you tell us a little bit? I know that you are like super busy helping people learn how to learn at home, deliver education distance from your seat, leading Squiggle Park and Dreamscape. But can you tell us a little bit about what was helpful for you as you built that and got ready for really a second round of funding as you were coming through Rally?
Yeah, I think for me, I've always been really motivated by impact, and I almost wanted to hurry up and get there. And I think what was really valuable for me specifically at Rally is connecting with mentors and the leadership at Rally to really refocus me on making sure that the business was scalable and successful as a business first, because it's really important to be disciplined in knowing that you can't have the impact you want to have unless you are going to build a solid and scalable business first. And the mentors, I think, were really, really helpful at kind of bringing me back to what is that model, how is it going to scale, and then how is it connected to impact in the long term.
I think that is super cool to hear, because for us, as we're looking for the right kind of Rally fellows, we know that there's an aspect of the passion and the care about making a positive impact in the world that can't be taught. Like that's like a first level qualification for being a Rally fellow. But then to know that it's also helpful, we really try and train our eyes on the business impact. So it's really cool to get that feedback from you that was helpful. You said you were talking about connecting to the mentors and what sort of mentor help did you get? Is there anything specific that comes to your mind, Julia, when you think about that?
Well, the expertise from mentors like Mark Brewer, who really understand impact and how to build models that can achieve impact, that was amazing. And then mentors like John, Karen, and Drew Madsen, who were, they've worked in massive enterprise and they've built business at scale, and they understand what it takes to get there. I think, it's rare to be able to connect with this level of individual, and I think that's what the network in Orlando really has, is it has amazing leaders who've done amazing things in entrepreneurship and business, but who are so motivated and passionate about impact and enterprise that can create impact. So that was awesome.
I think that's a really unique thing about our community here. And as we've tried to discover what's the right pieces of an ecosystem for early stage social enterprise, a network of seasoned and compassionate and empathetic business leaders is really important. Serge, I see you hard at work, so I know it's not a surprise that you're hard at work. You're always hard at work. But from your seat running EcoSpheres, tell us about what you're doing, and then maybe what was helpful a year, 2 years ago as you were really getting EcoSpheres off the ground.
So EcoSpheres, we're a clean tech innovation technology company. We build tech for cleaning up environmental issues. PCBs and dioxins in our waterways, in our soils. So what was impactful for us is that with Rally is that it kept sustainability and really the impact aspect of it top of mind, because that can easily basically be just pushed to the wayside as you're focusing on for-profit type of business functions, right? So you still build the business to make profitability or to gain profitability, but it's important to have those impact metrics so that we can better understand that if we develop tech to clean the water in this community, how does that transcend to different levels within that community, and how do we measure all that?
Yeah, that's really cool. I remember specifically thinking about that with you all, how do we understand, in addition to delivering a product that delivers a service, getting ourselves behind a broader mission that has this desired impact in the world. And it's fun to hear you and Julia both, this line between building the business and having the impact is one that we're always trying to walk. And I feel like all three of you walk that social enterprise line really well. If you were going to give one piece of advice to an early stage social enterprise or a social entrepreneur, what would you give them? What would be one piece of advice you would give them? Jennifer, what would you say?
Well, I'd echo what Julia said about the mentors. Having mentors for me was just incredibly valuable, because there were things that, at a high concept, I certainly understood, but just didn't have the experience or the skills to do, right? And so being able to sit down with a mentor and say, I've never built a financial model like this. Can you walk me through it? Can you actually help me build this spreadsheet? That was the level of engagement with my mentors. And it was incredibly valuable. It wasn't just someone saying, this is what you need to do. They really walked me through it and took the time to punch holes through things and really test it. And so that mentorship, I think, was one of the most valuable parts, along with, the great input that you and Kyle gave throughout the entire process, and kind of walking us through and mentoring us through the different models was really, really, really helpful. So I think that's what sets this program apart, is really that connectivity with experts who have done this before, who are passionate about seeing others succeed, and really willing to get personally involved.
Awesome. Serge, what would you say for early stage? What would be one piece of advice you would give a early stage social entrepreneur?
I think it's about taking action, right? Because you can basically participate in these types of cohorts, and EcoSpheres now is we're a part of over a dozen cohorts already of accelerators in the world, and Rally Social Enterprise is the only one that's unique to social enterprise type of businesses. But if you as a company or you as the leadership in that company do not take action, it just kind of gets pushed to the wayside and it becomes an afterthought, right? There's a good saying that you want sustainability and social enterprise and corporate social responsibility to be more of a not a bolt-on approach. You want it embedded into the structure of your organization from the get-go in order to be meaningful to your key hires and your team members in the future.
Totally.
So
I
they
love to
believe
hear
that.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Serge. Thanks. Julie, we'll give you the last word. What would be one piece of advice you would give an early stage social entrepreneur?
I think be very clear about the asset that you're trying to build and the impact you're trying to have, but then be patient with yourself and your progress, and just understand that the value is in patience and persistence and just one foot in front of the other. And it's amazing how far you can go.
I love that. Patience and persistence. Thanks for taking the time today, guys. I know you're busy, but we're really proud of you and excited to see what comes next for Squiggle Park, EcoSpheres, and One Orlando Alliance. Thanks, guys.
Man, that panel was awesome. It was really fun seeing those entrepreneurs and where they're at. It's considering where they started from.
For sure.
Yeah.